Okay, what's up, everybody? Rev Sauce 9. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. Make sure to be watching the videos, guys. Make sure to be subscribed. Check out all my game streaming places, including here. We're going to be game streaming after I get done with a workout after this video. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about Darby Allin, Jeff Hardy, and Rampage for 1/19/2024. Now, I'm going to say this. The women's segments on this show were better to me than SmackDown. Hands down. Better than that tag team titles match. Seriously. Now, Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy, it looks like Jeff Hardy's frustrated, but Jeff Hardy's got to make his mind. Him and his brother got to stop being on podcasts. They got to make their mind on what they want to do. They either want to be in the tag team division, trios champions, or they want to be singles competitors. Like, they're saying time, they're saying like time is literally counting down and all this shit, but at the end of the day, they got to make their minds on what they're going to do. If Jeff Hardy is going to be in the singles division and going after titles and stuff like that, I could see Jeff Hardy being a TNT champion. I could see him being a international crown champion. I could see, him going to Ring of Honor, but they got to put it together. Jeff Hardy has done things that Tony Khan, why he's undercard and why they're on Rampage is because what Jeff Hardy's done. Jeff Hardy's got to go prove himself now. I don't think WWE wants to touch him if his contract expired tomorrow. Jeff Hardy's got to prove himself here. And, yes, he's putting over talent. He put over Darby Allin tonight or last night. And, I know he's frustrated. I know he's mad. And I hear it in podcasts from him and his brother. But they got to start doing things to make it a reason to win a title. They have done nothing. On Rampage, yeah, they're winning these hokey pokey matches, and I just find it, and they're partnering with the Briscoe brother, and it's like, make your mind what you're gonna do. Either you want a trios belt or you want a main title. You got to make your mind. And Jeff Hardy kind of did himself in with drinking and driving and doing things. If he didn't do those kind of things, I think he would have been a champion by now. But he's relegated to Rampage, and he's doing good shit on Rampage. They're winning. Tony Khan is booking Jeff and Matt Hardy to win tag team matches. They've been winning matches, but, you got to lose a few. Jeff Hardy needs to redeem himself right now. He needs to redeem himself and do better. So that's just my personal opinion. So this was a taped show. Rampage has been notoriously taped. Chris Jericho, Matt Sydal. Honestly, with you guys, this was a sloppy match. I love Matt Sydal, but Matt Sydal was botching moves, and so did Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho tried to hit a couple of Judas effects, and they didn't land, and it looked botched. And then Chris Jericho, a few of these moves that, like, Matt didn't move out of the way, kind of moved out of the way. It looked like Jericho was going to slip off the ropes. It was sloppy. Like, Chris Jericho is well known for being a ring tactician, but it's very sloppy. And is Chris Jericho gaining weight? That was the thing. Like, is Chris Jericho out of shape? Because he looked out of breath. Looked like he was just, like, walking out of, like, breath and stuff. So, Chris Jericho used to be really cut up. And this is like Jericho's becoming fat Jericho again. I don't know. He goes up and down with his weight, but he looked out of shape. It just looked, to me, for the 10 minutes and 38 seconds that they had on television to kick off, Rampage, to me, it was like, what are we doing? Like, I know they practice stuff before they get in the ring, hours before the event, but they got to get better with this. Chris Jericho has these moments of really good, and then he's a botch fest. So, again, and then Okeshida comes out and basically beats the shit out of him, and, they spar a little bit. But Matt Sydal's good shit. They had Don Callis on the mic. He was rooting for Matt Sydal. They need to give more to Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal's been jobbing out since the inception of AEW. They got to give this guy more. He is good shit. He was good shit in TNA. They got to do something. And in New Japan, he was good too. They got to give him something, man. Like, throw him a bone. I feel sorry. Put him in a faction. Do something with him. Make him like Ring of Honor champ. Do something with him. You can't keep having him job out. But he's probably getting paid handsome to do so, though. Matt Sydal doesn't probably have very long because he didn't look too good either in the ring. at being 40 years old, he didn't look really that great to me. Now, El Penta Cero Mero versus Anthony Henry. Anthony Henry's over on Ring of Honor. It's good to see Ring of Honor talent that they're looking at being featured on main shit. So that I'm happy about this. Now, Penta is good shit. So Penta hits a super kick and they're devastating. Then he goes and hits the Peso Negro, little Negro, in the face. Anthony hits him, hits the double stomp, back and forth, couple Death Valley drops, and then a suplex. Henry hits back and forth with some slaps and stuff like that, and then a Fear Factor for the 1-2-3. Great match. Short, though, but great match. Short match, good stuff. You can't go wrong with Penta. You just really can't. Pentagon Jr., you just can't go wrong with that. And hopefully Penta goes up the ladder this year and possibly wins a mid-card champion because he kind of deserves it. He's been floundering for a minute. Don't know what they're doing with him. I know they signed him for the tag team division, but he could be an International Crown, a champion. He could be a Ring of Honor champion. And before you geeks tell me Ring of Honor is dead and they should consolidate the belts, I don't know what you're smoking with that. WWE and AEW don't have that many belts between each other. And if you combined WWE's championship belts between the companies and AEW's, it's pretty much like AEW has 3 more than WWE or something like that. So when you guys, come at me as a person and tell me, oh, well, WWE, has less belts and, they have a, bloated roster, like AEW has a bloated roster and all this stuff. It's like, guys, go look that shit up. Go do your fact research and come back and tell me. Both companies have a lot of titles between companies. And Ring of Honor only has 6. So, yeah, they feature 2 championship titles. The 6-man and the sometimes the World Heavyweight and sometimes the tag team belts. The reason they're doing that because they are shopping for a TV rights deal. It makes Warner Discovery go, oh, man, people are interested in those titles. You know what I mean? So I don't know why you guys get all pissed off when Ring of Honor is being featured on television. I think that's just so stupid. It's crazy to me. Blows my mind. And for you guys to sit here and tell me as a person that they should consolidate everything and AEW should just swallow up Ring of Honor and Tony Khan should fold up shop and just keep the tape library, I think that's stupid. You were the very same people that sat back and said you didn't want Triple H or Vince McMahon grabbing Ring of Honor and turning it into just tapes and stuff for Peacock. You wanted Tony Khan to buy it. Well, he bought it and he's making it its own promotion. You were all happy when he did it. Now you're all pissed off and want him to consolidate shit. Come on, you can't have both worlds. It's hypocritical. I'm sorry. It's very hypocritical. Anyway, so Matt Menard replaced Don Callis. Matt Menard is good shit on the mic, man. Seriously. I didn't understand why the rules were relaxed for Jeff Hardy's match versus Darby Allin. They should have just called it a hardcore match. Honestly, I thought it was our no DQ. I thought that was so stupid. Just call it a no DQ. Why a relaxed match? I don't get that. So Ruby Soho is pissed off, and she was gonna do an interview, but Saraya and her new friend, she's a little fat shit crazy. She looks like Tarzan, however you want to go with it, and she's sexy as hell. She's crazy. They're making her out to be a crazy character. So Harley Cameron, man, hot as hell. She was wearing a choker, PVC, shiny stuff, and Ruby Soho goes up to her. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because Anna Jay set this all up. So there's dissension in the Outcast, technically. Ruby Soho is probably going to break off as her own thing. And I got to say, this women's stuff on Rampage was better than what was on WWE with that tag team belt with. I just don't know what the fuck that was, but, And the Chris Statlander match versus Queen Automata? Antonata? One hell of a match. That's how a women's match should be. Crowd was into it. It was good. There was some chanting going on. There was a Falcon Arrow done. There was a couple of moves being done, a couple of power bombs, something off the rope. It had everything. Crowd was into it. That's a win. They just did everything spectacular. So again, as I said before, AEW does good shit with the women's stuff more than WWE sometimes. And I don't know why WWE and AEW, why we sit here and talk about women's stuff sometimes, but I understand why we do, because we want to see women's wrestling get better. But here's the thing. AEW killed it tonight with their Rampage episode with the women's stuff. WWE should be ashamed. It was like AEW hit a home run. All they had to do was have a 3-star run-of-the-mill match, and it looked like Queen's been featured on Ring of Honor / AEW stuff. She's from GCW. I think she was one of their champions, women's champions for a minute there. And to be honest with you, she's been killing it. And if this was a way to get her a contract, she deserves a contract because she was hella good. And she's a taller, bigger set woman. And they were like, Chris Statlander and her were going at each other pretty hardcore. Like, straight up off the rip. It was a good match. Hell yeah. Give me more of this. Queen needs to be on the main roster of either Ring of Honor or AEW. And it was really good, honestly. So then, again, with the segment before that match, I actually got to give it to AEW. AEW's killing it. Saraya and that other person, it's a little hokey pokey, but it's interesting. It keeps me intrigued, enthralled. Like, that's something that WWE doesn't do at the current moment with their women's division in SmackDown. Ever since Charlotte went down, they really haven't done anything on a Friday night that makes me go, man, that women's division is so good. AEW, it's like it's all off a truck and it's a circus, but with Matt Menard and all them doing the commentary, Igabani and all them, dude, it's great shit. People sleep on this Rampage, but it's not that bad. And then we have Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy, and it was typical. It was a typical Darby Allin match. It looks like Darby is actually legitimately hurt. I don't know why they're having him fight more matches, these hardcore matches. It's gonna wear Darby Allin down. Jeff Hardy was really upset. It went 13 minutes and 45 seconds. You could see after the match, Jeff Hardy went through a table and, missed his move and went through a table. You could tell Jeff Hardy was really upset. But again, Jeff Hardy put himself there. Like, people want Jeff Hardy to do this, that, and the third. WWE won't touch him. With their wellness policy and what's going on, his only chance of possibly getting a title will be AEW or go back to TNA when their contracts expire, or New Japan. There's going to be no way that Matt and Jeff, they're going to see gold in AEW, trust me. But if they want to be singles competitor, Jeff Hardy's got to get out of the hole that he's in now. And he's doing the right things. But Tony Khan, Tony Khan's always been this way, man. Like, he has trust issues with people. So, we'll see what happens with that. Jeff and Matt are frustrated just being relegated to Rampage. But Jeff Hardy put over literally Darby Allin. And I don't think Darby Allin needs to be put over here. But Darby Allin is one of the pillars of AEW. However you slice it and dice it. So this episode, I'd honestly tell you, I'm going to give it the same type of treatment as I did SmackDown. I'm going to go one below it. I'm going to go 7-4. It's a B- C show. I think if they didn't have the sloppy match at the very beginning with Chris Jericho and Matt Sydal, and they keep Matt Menard on the mic sexy, and they didn't have these matches be squash matches to an extent, and they do more with the women's match. And I forgot to mention this real quick. Jay Lethal had a segment here, and this is one other thing I'm going to say before I end. Jay Lethal had a segment. That man has been put in the abyss since joining AEW, and I'm glad to see that fucker. Literally, Jay Lethal, I respect the hell out of you. What you did for Ring of Honor for years was fantastic. I hope you get back to that, Jay Lethal, because you deserve a championship, and I don't care what people tell me. He is good shit. He needs to drop Satin Singh and Sanjay Dutt and Chris Jericho. Jeff Jarrett. He don't need these people. They're holding him back. it's actually putting him in the lower card of AEW. He needs to win a world heavyweight title of some sort in AEW some point here before it's all said and done with Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal is good shit. I just honestly don't understand why this man's not being pushed. And they're finally starting to do that. Really, they are starting to do that. And it shows. When Jay Lethal is going for something, he's determined. You saw that with the tournament, the Continental Tournament. It needs to come together, and I think Jay Lethal could win a Ring of Honor championship off of Eddie Kingston. I could see maybe a Intercontinental crown, but Jay Lethal's got to put it all together here. He needs to become the old Jay Lethal of old, and they need to book him properly in AEW though. So that's just the only thing I have complaints over. But Jay Lethal determined is good for business. Just saying. Anyway, I still stand by 7-4. It's a CB- show. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you like my reviews and everything that's going on my channel. I've been fire with the reviews and fire. I'm catching up with everything. I think I caught up to everything. Next week we'll be back to a normal schedule. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the streams because I'll be streaming next after I get done working out. And we have a Collision review coming up tonight too. So I'll see you guys. Peace.